Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Yemen's Houthi rebels will pay a heavy price for an attack on Israeli soil. The group says it fired a hypersonic ballistic missile that evaded Israel's early air defense system. The Israeli army says the projectile crossed from the east and exploded mid-air close to the international airport near Tel Aviv. Israel says no one was seriously injured in the attack.
We are in a multi-front battle against Iran's axis of evil that strives to destroy us. This morning, the Houthis launched a surface-to-surface missile from Yemen into our territory. They should have known by now that we exact a heavy price for any attempt to harm us. Those who need a reminder in this matter are invited to visit the port of Hodeida. Anyone who attacks us will not escape from our arms. Hamas is already learning this in our determined action that will lead to its destruction and the release of all our hostages.
The Houthis say the new hypersonic ballistic missile was painted with a Palestinian keffiyeh or scarf. The group says it was targeting a military position in the Jaffa area. The weapon was launched from Yemen at dawn, triggering air raid sirens in central Israel at 6:30 a.m. The Houthis say the missile covered a distance of 2,040 kilometers in 11 and a half minutes. On June 5th, they unveiled a solid-fuel missile, saying it was the first operational use of the hypersonic missile. While the Houthis say the missile is locally made, analysts believe it resembles an Iranian design capable of hypersonic speeds. Let's bring in Hussain al-Bukhaiti. He's a pro-Houthi journalist and political analyst, and he's joining us from Sana'a. Thank you for your time. Where are the Houthis getting such advanced missiles from?
I mean, those missiles, they have been built inside Yemen, and we remember during the war with Saudi Arabia, they have conducted more than 260,000 airstrike, and most of the strike, they were saying they were targeting, as they say, factories, and Yemen has been under blockade since as well till today. Yemen is still under a Saudi blockade. They only allowing some fuel and food ship coming to Hodeida port, and in Hodeida port there are a UN inspector there to check in those ships. So for Israel or for any other country to claim that those missiles is coming from Iran, I mean, it will be really, really hard to transfer or to smuggle a missile that weight several tons and as well is 12 to 15 meter long. Just they try to actually to avoid to convince themselves that those missiles actually they are built in Yemen and that Yemen are launching those missiles against Israel.
It is the first time that the Houthis have fired a missile that's hit central Israel. What are the Houthis' current military capabilities?
I can say that I believe that this missile, the hypersonic missiles, it could be Hatim 3 or 4. We remember that in the end of June, Yemeni army has launched its first hypersonic missiles, was called Hatim 2, targeting an Israeli linked ship east of Socotra Island, which is about maybe 800 to 1,000 kilometers away. So that missile was actually medium range. That's why I believe it could be Hatim 3 or Hatim 4. And of course, Yemeni army, they are well prepared for a long war with the Zionist state of Israel. And of course, when they, as an example, target Tel Aviv with a drone, that's actually not their latest drone, because it will be silly for a country to use its latest missile. That's why I believe that the missile that they have target the Zionist state of Israel today, they have maybe 3 to 4 upgrade ready for that for these types of missiles. And I can think as well that Yemeni army could launch at one point not only one missile, but they could launch more missiles against Israel, against especially the capital city of the Zionist state. And I believe that at one point the Yemeni army might target the gas platform of the Zionist state in the coast of Palestine, because as Israeli actually has targeted Hodeida port, Yemeni army has declared today that the attack on Israel today is to show their support to the Palestinian people all, and is not the retaliation of the attack of Israel against Hodeidah port. And I believe that Israel could retaliate in the coming hours. But of course, Yemeni army is continue to form a blockade against Israel.
But Mr. al-Bukhaiti, when you say that the Houthis, sorry to interrupt, but I have to ask you,
the genocide will continue.
Yes. The Houthis have said that since the war on Gaza began. When you say that the Houthis are prepared for war with Israel, what are the defense capabilities? Netanyahu has promised that the Houthis will pay a price. He referred to that strike that you've talked about on the port of Hodeidah, which killed 6 people, injured 80. Are the Houthis really prepared for an Israeli response? Do they have the defense capabilities?
I mean, we know that Israel, it's easy to target civilians and to kill civilians. They have killed and injured more than 150,000 Palestinians, most of them women and children. And so, of course, Israel, if they will retaliate, they will kill civilians. But we must remember that during the 9 years of the Saudi war and United Arab Emirates war in Yemen, they conducted more than 270,000 airstrikes. And those attacks and that war was supported from the same country that are now actually supporting Israel in the war against Yemen. But why Yemen now is having the upper hand? Because they have actually formed that blockade. That blockade is actually affecting the Zionist state of Israel, and I believe they have as well the ability and the capability as well to form a blockade against the Zionist state of Israel in the Mediterranean Sea. We could see at one point that Yemeni army will use hypersonic anti-ship ballistic missiles to target any ship in the Mediterranean Sea, and they could as well start to targeting ports in occupied Palestine. And I just want to mention one last thing. Abdul Malik al-Houthi today, the leader of Ansar Allah, he said that our stand with Palestine will stay firm. Our stand with the case of Palestine will stay until the liberation of Palestine. This means not only the battle for Gaza, it means a battle for the liberation of Palestine. And I believe that at one point, Yemeni army will take the decision not to stop its attack against Israel, even if they stop at this point. The genocide in Gaza, because what's left in Gaza, they have actually destroyed the entire Gaza Strip. That's why Yemeni army will continue their attack, whatever it takes. And if Israeli will respond, and they are ready for that, they have as well a way to respond against Israel.
Hussain al-Bukhaiti joining us live from Sana'a there. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.